How's it going, guys? It's K Cars, and of course today we are back with another Jeep video. I know, shocker, right? But today is actually going to be a little bit of a different type of video. So we're actually going to be taking the Jeep and exploring some land out in the Northern Virginia area, some of the farmland that's out here. I did do a video like this that was pretty similar back whenever I lived in West Virginia, and you guys seemed to like that. Just, you know, me exploring some new off-road kind of terrain. It's not going to be completely off-road, but I did hear that the place we are going to has a few creek crossings, so definitely should be interesting. I know I really don't do any type of off-roading with this Jeep, so this is definitely something different. And I know you guys have, you know, always been asking about doing some type of off-roading content, and you guys definitely did enjoy whenever I did this type of video back in West Virginia, just exploring some new off-road areas and, you know, some rough terrain roads, I guess. So we're going to see what we can get into. My plan is to hit that road that has those creek crossings that I've heard about. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys where we're going to go on the map here, and then let's get on the road. This road right over here is the road that I heard has a water crossing on it. So we're going to try to get to this road right over here. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out where the actual water crossing is. So it's kind of hard to tell here where it is, but it does go through a little bit of a woody area right over here. Then if we continue following it, we have like a power line area that runs across right here. And then I feel like this area right over here could be another potential area where the water crossing could be. And if we keep following along here, we have some more farmland. And yeah, that pretty much goes all the way up to here. So we have this whole area to explore right around here, see if we can find some side trails. But yeah, I think it should be fun to, you know, actually take the Jeep out and do some exploring with it again. I know, you know, I mentioned this before, but I think you guys actually enjoyed whenever I took the Jeep out and explored some of that, you know, off-road area back whenever I was in West Virginia. Had a whole bunch of fun doing it, and I figured since I'm pretty new to this area, we could go ahead and explore some more areas like that around here and, you know, just see what's out there. So wish me luck. Hopefully, you know, I trust this Jeep a lot. It's very reliable. But yeah, let's have some fun and see if we can find some water crossings. And of course, if you guys are doing any kind of serious off-roading, I definitely would not recommend going alone. I'm going alone today because I know it's not going to be anything serious. If it seems serious, if the water seems deep or anything, obviously I'm not going to risk getting stuck. So just putting that out there. You probably shouldn't be going alone if you're doing any kind of serious off-roading. So let's go ahead and get on the road here and see what we can get into. All right, guys, so we're on the road here. We got about a 35-minute drive. Let's see, we got 24 miles, so shouldn't be too terrible. I'm not really used to driving this Jeep, like, you know, anywhere out of town. So this is definitely a different experience for me, but, you know, I'm not worried about the reliability of this thing at all. Today it's about, I would say, 50 degrees outside. So, you know, overheating shouldn't be an issue. Even if it was a hot day, like 100 degrees, I still wouldn't be too worried about it because, you know, we just got all those cooling parts replaced. And the day I drove it back from the shop, it was about 100 degrees out and it stayed right below 210 the whole time. So really haven't had any issues with this thing whatsoever, even if we're just sitting here in traffic. So as you can see right now, it's right under 210. So we're doing perfect so far. And, you know, hopefully it stays like that for this whole trip. A pretty nice TJ right there, old Wrangler TJ. I think one of those would actually be a really good addition to the XJ right here. I definitely would like to get one of those sometime in the future, but as you guys know, all these old Jeeps are definitely going like crazy up in value and price, of course. So not sure when it's going to happen, but it definitely would be nice to have a TJ like that. So I know in some of my previous videos I have complained about how this Jeep drives on the highway or the interstate, but I have to say it's really not even too bad. So considering, you know, my Jeep has 3-inch lift and 31-inch mud tires, I really don't have any complaints on how this thing's doing. And as long as I'm not going up an incline and I don't have to deal with that downshifting issue, then I don't have any complaints. You know, considering this thing isn't made for, you know, to accelerate very fast or make quick maneuvers on the highway, it actually performs very well. So the only time that I have problems with this Jeep is when I'm going up an incline and for some reason it just won't downshift. And I know a lot of people have recommended that I need to just adjust the kickdown cable, which to be honest, I still haven't even looked into that and I definitely need to. But if you guys look right now, we're going to 55 right now. And you know, the suspension is a little bit more bouncy, but as you can see, it's really not too difficult to actually keep it going straight. If I take my hand off the wheel, you guys can see it's staying pretty straight. You know, have to correct it every now and then, but for a Jeep like this, 20 years old, you know, stock tie rod, stock drag link, I do have an upgraded steering stabilizer, but I really can't complain about anything. And also, I know a lot of people with Jeeps do have the death wobble. So basically, if you like hit a bump, the steering wheel will start like shaking like crazy. So luckily, I haven't had an issue with that at all. I think that might be a little bit more common on the Wranglers. But yeah, luckily I haven't had to deal with that at all. So very impressed with how this Jeep is handling. And you guys know, I really don't drive this Jeep, you know, long distances or on the highway at all pretty much. So it's definitely cool to kind of bring this Jeep into a different driving environment and see how it does, see how reliable it is. And you know, I really do trust this Jeep. It hasn't left me stranded anywhere, haven't had any issues with it pretty much ever. So yeah, I mean, I really can't complain about how this Jeep is doing. Yeah, it's very reliable, you know, great daily driver if you're going to use it for that. It would be a great commuter. Obviously, it's not going to be able to accelerate or brake as fast as a performance car or maneuver around traffic if you have to. So if you have to make any kind of sudden movements, or if you have to quickly accelerate onto a highway at a high rate of speed, high rate of acceleration, then it would be a little bit difficult with a Jeep like this, because that's really not what they're made to do. Of course, if you compare it to a performance car like I usually do, since I'm used to driving the Challenger, then you know, this thing is very slow obviously compared to a Challenger, because it's not made to have performance like a Challenger. It's meant to go off-road, and that's what it's great at doing. So you know, just something to keep in mind if you do have to make some quick acceleration moves or brake very quickly or weave around an accident maybe, or something that's in the road, then it would be a little bit more difficult with a Jeep like this compared to a performance car like a Challenger. So you know, obviously for being a 20-year-old Jeep on a 3-inch lift with mud tires, really can't complain about anything here. And also one other thing that I did want to mention here is the humming sound of the mud tires. Now, some people don't like that, but to be honest, I actually kind of like the sound of the hum that the mud tires give me. It kind of just makes it gives it that more like off-road feel, I guess. It just feels more like an off-road vehicle with having that hum from the mud tires. So it really doesn't bother me at all. Some people do get bothered by it, but you know, I actually kind of like it, which is, you know, makes it just feel like a more off-road vehicle. So, you know, no complaints whatsoever. We are still on the road, getting to our, you know, seeing if we can find those water crossings on that road. So it should be a fun trip. You know, I say trip, but we're only going like, what? It's only like a 40-minute drive, maybe. It was like 25 miles, I think. So nothing too crazy. You know, I really don't drive this Jeep for, you know, anywhere outside of the city where I live. So this is definitely different from what I'm used to doing with this Jeep. So should be a whole bunch of fun. Hope you guys continue to enjoy. I did want to show you guys this right here. It's kind of a bumpy road, and it's kind of throwing the steering wheel like all over the place here. If you guys can see that right there. So you know, it's nothing terrible, but you know, you do have to be careful and make sure that you are ready to make those sudden movements if you ever have to. And that also applies to whenever you hit a strong gust of wind, maybe it could jerk the Jeep to one side, because it is kind of, you know, shaped like a brick. So that definitely does apply as well. Maybe if you're driving onto a bridge, sometimes you get a gust of wind over there. So just a few things to keep in mind. But also, I did want to mention that if I'm driving the Challenger, yes, it is a whole lot easier to drive at high speeds and on the highway, on the interstate, but I also do have to be a lot more careful with how I'm driving and where I'm driving. So for example, if there's like a huge bump in the road, you know, with a Jeep, I can just drive right over it and usually nothing will happen. I don't have to usually worry about death wobble or anything like that. With a Challenger, I have to be careful with all those kind of bumps, potholes, dips, anything that's in the road maybe. If something maybe fell off of a truck ahead of me, with a Jeep, most of the time I could probably just drive over it. With a Challenger, I would have to, you know, quickly maneuver around it so I don't hit it. And then when it comes to potholes, you can just drive right over them with the Jeep. And with the Challenger, I have to be careful because it is a lot lower. I do have long tube headers that definitely stick down, so those usually scrape whenever I go over speed bumps or potholes. And I also do have to worry about the front splitter, you know, ripping off if I hit a speed bump too fast or a pothole too fast. So there definitely are advantages and disadvantages of both vehicles. But like I said, the Jeep, I really don't have too many complaints about driving it on the highway. You just have to I guess, be more alert, but you also don't have to be as alert because you can drive over potholes and drive over a lot of things that are in the road. And, you know, with the Challenger, you can make more quick maneuvers in the road, but you also do have to worry about driving over potholes and making quick maneuvers to avoid things that could be in the road. So there's definitely trade-offs with driving both vehicles, also advantages of both vehicles as well. All right, guys, so it seems like we might be coming up to the right place here. As you can see, we got a bunch of farmland here. So yeah, the road that we're about to search is coming up here really soon. So hopefully we'll get to get some good scenery for you guys and also get some good Jeep content as well, exploring these new trails here. All right, guys, so we are starting to get into the wooded area here. Let me show you guys what we're working with right here. So we're starting on a gravel road right over here. So the actual pavement ends. So it's looking good so far. We're just gonna keep driving along this road and see how far we can get, see if we can actually find the water crossing. So obviously we're not doing anything crazy, you know, getting off of an actual paved road is always fun with a Jeep. But yeah, nothing crazy here. Just driving along this road, seeing what we can actually get into here. But yeah, it's looking good so far. Oh, there's the water crossing. That looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna stop right before it and see what it looks like. See how deep it is, just assess the situation, see what it's looking like, but it shouldn't be a problem for this Jeep, to be honest. All right, let's go ahead and stop right over here. Obviously nothing crazy, but a cool little spot here to stop. All right, let's go ahead and get out and see what this is looking like. All right, guys, this is actually a really cool little area here. I wasn't even like aware that this existed around this area, but of course here we got the water. So over towards this side on the right, it actually looks like it does get pretty deep here. So right where I'm standing here, obviously it's gravel, but if you look like right over there, that probably looks like it's about maybe 1.5 feet. It's kind of hard to tell how much deeper it goes over there, but yeah, so I mean, obviously here where the actual road continues, it's probably, you know, less than 1 foot. So obviously, you know, nothing for the Jeep here. It'll make it past here with no problems, and I think it'll be really fun to see how it goes. But I think a cool place to explore would be through this little trail right here. Might try to see where that leads to, and then we can walk over here and see where this goes as well. Pretty cool little area that we're finding here. This area right here says no trespassing, so obviously can't be doing anything on private property. This also looks like it's pretty deep as well right here, a little bit over 1 foot maybe. The Jeep probably wouldn't have a problem going through there. But yeah, so the road goes through right here. It looks like at the deepest point, it's really hard to tell just looking at it like this, but it might be like 1 foot deep at the deepest part. So maybe just to be safe, since, you know, I'm alone, I don't really have any kind of recovery gear here, just in case anything happens. I'm not saying that I'm expecting anything to happen because, you know, it's a lifted Jeep on mud tires and it's only like 1 foot deep maybe. So I'm thinking what we do, we cross here where it's more shallow and then go up there. And I'm thinking, I don't see any like private property signs right there. So once we cross this area here, I might try to go over there and see what it's looking like. Looks like it does get a good bit deeper over there on that side, so we'll see what's going on. All right, guys, so we're back in the Jeep here. We're going to cross this water right over here, then try to see where this part leads to right there. I feel like I don't even need to put it in a 4-wheel drive because it looks pretty shallow right here. So let's go ahead and try to hit it and see what happens. Yeah, so obviously no issues at all. So I'm gonna try to back up to that spot right there and see what it looks like. such a struggle just trying to get a good YouTube thumbnail for this, but I think this actually looks pretty good right here. So try to get some good pictures here, and yeah, we'll keep on going. All right guys, so we did start slipping just a little bit, so I got it in 4-wheel drive there. See how it goes. I think it's mostly just because of all the gravel that's back there, but yeah, this really isn't too bad at all. I think I'm just gonna stop right here. Back in 2-wheel drive, we don't need anything crazy here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get out and see what this looks like. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with how this Jeep is doing. You know, I don't usually drive this Jeep in these kind of conditions here, but I did want to do a quick walk around here. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ. We have a 3-inch lift on 31-inch mud tires here. You can get a pretty good view of the suspension right here in the front. So this is actually, as you guys can see right there, this is the Rusty's 3-inch advanced lift kit. So along with the standard parts like you got the coil springs, the shocks, it also does come with extended brake lines, which is part of the advanced package. I also added on the sway bar end links with the quick disconnects right there. And then another addition is the steering stabilizer right there, so that's an upgrade as well. And if we look under here, you can see the adjustable track bar right there. So that's the front, and then we can move on to the back here, show you guys the components of the lift kit. Of course, we got full leaf springs right here with the 3-inch advanced kit. We got extended brake lines, shocks, and yeah, so you can see that right there. So of course, really happy with how the lift kit is holding up. Really haven't had any issues with this thing. So you can see not really too much flex right here, but it kind of is on an angle right there. You can see the front tire there. Not flexing too much, of course. It's nothing crazy, but you know, handling everything just fine. You can look down here. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a really cool vehicle, all-around vehicle, a very good, you know, project Jeep if you want to take it out on trails here. Good daily driver. You know, I drove it, what, 30 to 40 miles here. Stopped at the shop, then came over here. Figured since I was already in the area, I would come explore some of these roads out here. And yeah, it's a pretty good area. I probably will not go any farther over here just because I think it might be private property, so I'm not going to risk anything like that. So yeah, I feel like I probably shouldn't be going anywhere like off this main section of the road here, because there is a private property sign right there. There was also one right there, so technically I think I am on private property here, but you know, I had to come here just to get a pretty good thumbnail for you guys. And I think it's also pretty cool just to like have the Jeep in this kind of I guess like scenario where you can see all the different suspension components actually working. Now of course, like I said, it's not like flexed out too much, or you know, not really at all. You can kind of see the front there is a little bit flexed, but yeah, it's nothing crazy here. Obviously the water, you know, it's running water, but it's not even like half a foot deep here. So no, I think it is good to, even if you do have like a project Jeep that you're trying to restore, at least take it out once in a while just to actually enjoy it for what it's made to do, what it's built to do. You know, like this Jeep, for example, 3-inch lift, 31-inch mud tires. It's built to do this kind of off-road stuff. So I know I keep saying, you know, this Jeep is gonna stay clean and I'm just restoring it, which, you know, that is true. But I also don't want to just like limit myself to, you know, just making it a garage queen and just driving it around town if it's made to do stuff like this. So every once in a while, I do think it is a lot of fun to, you know, take Jeeps out on trails like this and just do some exploring with all these different water crossings that are over here. I'll show you guys the point here where we actually crossed over. It's not even that deep at all, to be honest. I feel like the deepest part was, you can kind of see my tracks right there, right around here. So I'd say maybe, I don't know, half a foot, maybe a little bit less than that. But as you guys saw there from the video, the bottom portion of the tire was completely underwater. So I would say around half a foot is a pretty good estimate for that. But I do have to say, from this angle right here, the Jeep definitely looks very good. So I think I'm gonna get the good camera out and snap some more pictures from here. you guys saw my last video at the shop that we went to get some cosmetic upgrades done, then you know that we talked about some of the undercoating stuff for this Jeep to kind of take care of the rust problems. And you guys know I talk about the rubberized undercoating, how sometimes it can trap in the moisture underneath and actually sometimes cause even worse rust issues. And I was saying how I might be able to try out the rubberized undercoating, see how it looks and see how it actually works. And the reason for that is because, you know, I thought I didn't really have to worry about driving in wet conditions to actually worry about moisture getting underneath the undercoating. But then literally right now I'm driving through a river, so I don't know if that's something I need to worry about or not. But if you look at the condition of the underside right here, you can kind of see some rust right there. And it definitely would look good if it was all black, covered in that rubberized undercoating. But that's just one thing that I'm worried about with that, is I'm not sure if I need to worry about the moisture being trapped underneath the undercoating and then eventually causing more rust. So if you guys have experience with that or have any recommendations, definitely let me know down in the comments below. So I think now that we actually found the first water crossing here, let's go ahead and get back in the Jeep, look at the map a little bit more and see what's up ahead, and get out of this area right here. And yeah, we'll keep exploring. All right, so as you guys can see right here, we are at the water crossing. If we continue following this road all the way out here, then it does look like there is another little trail here right here. This is where the power line is, looks like. But then right here there's a lot more wooded area that we could try to explore. So then out here we have some more farmland, so I'm thinking we could probably take a look at this area right here, which is literally just straight ahead right there. So we could take a look and see what we run into over there. And yeah, it looks like that might be the end of the actual wooded area, because here it goes back to like a civilized area with some farmland and some houses around here. So I think this area right here would be pretty good to explore. So not sure if you guys are actually able to notice here, but I put it back into two-wheel drive, and since we're still running an open diff in the rear, we're actually sliding through the sand right here. So like my passenger rear tire was actually spinning right here. So we were in two-wheel drive. Obviously in four-wheel drive probably wouldn't have any issues like that, but you know, obviously still made it out without any problems. But that's what happens when you have an open diff and, you know, just using two-wheel drive. So let's hop back in here and get back on the road and see what's up ahead. All right guys, so back on the road here, still on the gravel road. It's looking like it's mostly just gonna be farmland around here in this wooded area that I showed you guys on the map. So nothing too crazy, still a gravel road, but we still have a good bit to go here. So we'll see if we run into any more water crossings, see if there's any creeks or anything like that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this little, even though it is just a gravel road here, I'm really enjoying actually like taking this Jeep off of a paved road. It's, you know, it's really what these Jeeps are meant to do. It's what this Jeep is built to do. Like I keep saying, with a 3-inch lift, 31-inch mud tires, this Jeep is made to handle more than what I'm actually like putting it through. Obviously any car could drive through a gravel road, but it's just cool to take this Jeep off of like an actual paved road. So here we have the power line trail that I showed you guys on the map. So we just passed those right there. Now we should be entering the more like wooded section of the road here that I showed you guys, and then after that should be the farmland. So yeah, I mean, I don't see any more water crossings here, but you know, as you know, the road still goes on for a while here, so we'll see what we run into. There are a few side trails on the side right there and right there, but a lot of them are private property, so obviously I don't want to be trespassing on anyone's property. And pretty much all the trees along the road here also have no trespassing signs. So, you know, if there are side trails here, even if they do look pretty cool, pretty fun for the Jeep, then I'm not going to be trespassing on anyone's private property. But, you know, even just driving on this road off of a paved surface, like I said, it's still a lot of fun to drive a Jeep like this. So just fun to explore like a new area out here, which is pretty cool, with a bunch of farmland, you know, water crossings. Looks like there is a good amount of farmland right behind these trees to my left right there. Obviously everything is private property, so can't be exploring any of that, but yeah, we'll see what's up ahead here. I'll let you guys know if we run into anything cool. All right guys, so right now I think we are entering the farmland area of the road. As you guys can see right there to my left is a good amount of farmland right there, with which, you know, obviously always looks cool in my opinion. It's pretty cool to see farmland out here. But there were a few other roads farther out west that I was also looking at on the map, so maybe we can save those for a later date and kind of do another like exploring day like today, see if there's any more cool water crossings. But yeah, this road still isn't over yet, so we still have a good amount of road to cover here and see what we can find until the end. So right now, like I said, we're just passing over the farmland around here. Still a gravel road, so yeah, definitely enjoying this drive here. I think it's pretty cool. We got a really nice farm here with some horses. You guys can see that farmland right there. Looks pretty cool. Very good scenery with I believe that is the Shenandoah mountain range in the background there. But yeah, it's really cool to kind of come out here. You know, I'm used to just living in the city, like city life, a bunch of traffic, bunch of, you know, corporate buildings and all that fun stuff. So it's cool to actually come out here and experience all this farmland scenery with the cool background right there. So definitely a change up of what you guys are used to seeing on the channel here. Alrighty guys, so unfortunately there was really nothing else on the rest of that road. It was just a bunch of farmland, which is, you know, really cool scenery, really cool to get out of the city, which is what I'm used to, and just come out here and experience, like, you know, farmland. And that water crossing was also, you know, like the main event of this whole video, which was really cool to actually do with this Jeep. As you guys know, I don't really off-road this Jeep at all, so it's really cool to actually take it off the pavement and just drive it on that gravel road and through that little creek crossing. So I had a whole bunch of fun today with this Jeep. Obviously, you know, it's not even barely dirty here, so even though it is not dirty at all, I'm definitely going to be taking it through the car wash, because as you guys know, my main goal with this Jeep is to restore it and keep it clean. And I definitely do think that I do enjoy taking this Jeep off-road and just experiencing what it's actually made to do. So, you know, maybe in the future we could do some more drives like this as well. Just take it off the road, off of the pavement, and just see what kind of roads we can come across here. And even though we didn't get this Jeep too muddy at all, it's definitely due for a car wash. Not sure how well that's showing up on camera there, but definitely gonna need a good car wash today. So that's what we're going to be doing later on today. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little water crossing with my Jeep Cherokee XJ right here. Like I said, we do have a few more future plans with this Jeep as for the restoration goes. If you guys missed my last video, then I'll just bring you guys up to date with that. So pretty much we went over to a restoration shop and showed them my Jeep and kind of got some, I guess, recommendations from them to see what they would recommend that I do to this Jeep, or what they would do to the Jeep. So the first things that we're going to get done here, as you guys know, we do want to replace the rear bumper here because it is pretty rusty. We have some rust on the bottom right there, so we're getting that replaced and painted to match the body color like it is right now. We're also going to be replacing the rear bumper brackets, which are these things right there. Those are pretty rusty, as you guys can tell. And then they also recommended that they want to fix up the rear part of the frame here. As you can see right there, it has a good amount of rust, and I did get this thing descaled and undercoated with fluid film not too long ago, probably a little bit under a year ago, and it's all still pretty rusty. So they told me that they also want to fix up the rear part of the frame. Since they are going to be putting the bumper on, it'll just make it a lot easier for them to also fix up the rear part of the frame there. So that's everything for the outside. Then as we move on to the inside here, a lot of people have commented about this, but the headliner, the saggy headliner, it's also something that I mentioned to them that I wanted to get fixed up. That's basically all we have for the future plans. They also did recommend that I should probably get the Jeep scaled off, like get all the rust scaled off. Even though I did get that about a year ago, they recommended for that to get done again, because he did point out a good amount of rust on the inside of the frame and these little spots that I showed you guys right there. Spot right there as well. So he did recommend to get all the rust scaled off again, and then they also wanted to undercoat it with truck bed liner, which is the rubberized kind of undercoating. And I think I mentioned this earlier in this video, but I am worried that that rubberized kind of undercoating can trap the moisture underneath and actually cause more rust that you can't actually see. But, you know, they still recommended to actually get that rubberized undercoating as opposed to the fluid film that I had done a little bit under a year ago. And the fluid film is kind of like an annual thing where you have to reapply it each year to actually have it be effective. So I also do think that the rubberized, like the truck bed liner type of undercoating, would look a lot better it would make the entire underside look black and very uniform. Obviously a lot better than what it looks like right now. So that definitely is something that would be on my list, but he did tell me that it might be $4 just to scale off the rust and undercoat it. So I'm probably going to be holding off on that right now and just doing the bumper brackets, and I also am getting the bumper end caps replaced along with that, which I actually have the brand new ones right here in this bag. So here's the brand new bumper end cap. Obviously just go right over here, and you can see this one definitely looks a whole lot better than the stock one right there, since it is a little bit discolored. So, you know, we got the rear bumper brackets, bumper end caps, and then headliner is what's next on the list. And then also getting all the rust scaled off and undercoated with that truck bed liner or rubberized undercoating, whatever you want to call it. That is also going to be on my list, but I'm going to hold off on that right now, since he said the cheapest price that they could do it for is around $4. So I definitely want to hold off on that for now. So yeah, that's what we have going on so far. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys enjoyed watching this kind of style of video, where it's just me like driving around and exploring new unpaved roads and seeing what we could actually find. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these types of videos. I definitely want to know you guys' opinions on it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to drop those down in the comment section below. And if you guys have any video suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, make sure to also drop those down in the comment section below. And if you guys liked this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.